Wait, hold up. I want to know something. Are you chilling on a park bench right now? Are you sitting in the back of the bus, vibing out, possibly hanging from the tree, enjoying the view? Well, you're probably in the right place. This is not enough questions. If you end up liking what you hear, tell a friend or leave a review. Welcome back, everyone. You know the voice. I am Julian. The name for today is Mr. Nobody. And Tyler is still in the unperceived world. She's not here right now. Okay. But I went after her and everything. And I went into the world of the unperceived. And what I found was an old friend of mine. And when I say unperceived, I mean unperceived. Like he was in the shadow room fighting all the demons. Good friend from high school. My sad Nimbus hours right here.
Yo, how y'all doing today?
Oh, it's so funny your name said Nimbus hours. I'm not gonna say it because it's so funny. But you're the second person to just change their name up on me.
Oh, really? Who was the first?
A person named Paul. He has the world's famous Paul on his thing. He was episode 15, I believe. Like the show, his episode was Robin Hood. Yeah.
Okay, Robin Hood. Okay.
Yeah. It's actually kind of related to what we're gonna get into today. But
okay.
Yeah, but before we get into the actual topic and everything, how was your last 7-ish days before we get into the main question and whatnot?
It's been going, I guess. I mean, I just been working a lot. So that's I mean, it's a good and bad thing because it gives me a schedule to follow, right? Because it's like I always have to think about work, and then the day-to-day things are like just minor adulting things, I guess.
Who are you telling? Adulting is always coming after me left and right, and I'm fighting it all. So
I'm just saying it could be annoying at some points, and it's just like it's not even like the big thing. It's just like the small things, like the day-to-day, like just cooking for yourself, or like doing laundry.
Remember to take the chicken out your freezer. Just
exactly. Yeah.
I struggle with that so much.
You don't think about it until it hits you, and it's like, man, I'm hungry. And like, I should have just taken out the chicken out the freezer.
Absolutely, and I mentioned this before, but I'm like, I only want to eat something. Like hunger doesn't go into my mind until I'm hungry. So exactly, I'm like, oh, that chicken that I have in the freezer, I took it out 2 days ago, so it can default. Like, all right, what am I gonna eat this time?
But yeah, that's how my last 7 days has been. It's just been working and just adulting and stuff. School hasn't started for me. School doesn't start until August 19th. So that's gonna be a whole nother thing added to the plate.
Gotcha. When are you graduating, if you don't mind me asking?
So I have these 2 semesters and then another 2. So like 4 semesters, like after 2 years.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah. I've been taking it slow. I got a lot of stuff outside that I'm doing.
I completely understand. I got done in 5 years, and that's only due to COVID. I'm not even gonna lie. My last year was pass fail. Guarantee I would still probably be. Well, it probably will take me like 6 years to graduate without COVID. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Wow. So like so when COVID hit, they were just like, you know what, like no more grading scale.
It was like the very first year, or maybe the second year of COVID or whatever, or the first full semester.
Right.
So it was like, how are we gonna do classes online? Like, how are we gonna do that? So they made everything pass fail.
Wow.
I'm actually grateful for that because
I know.
I'm like, you're not making this any easier for me.
I feel
yeah,
dude. When professors can make or break a class 100%, especially those higher level classes. It's literally like it's so crazy, actually.
Yeah, but my 7-ish days, it was like I said, I put my car in the shop earlier this week. Yeah, because
what's up with it?
So it was tapped by a truck.
Tapped by a truck. The whole back end is like gone.
No, luckily, everything is straight with it.
Okay.
But there's some scratches and everything. So like the bumper and like there's a dent above the fender that needs to be replaced. Yeah, but other than that, what else have I been doing this week? Literally, I'm starting to start working back out again because my year has been
working out back out again, dude. I remember, bro, you used to be shredded, bro.
These past 2 years has been a lot for just not giving me time to really work out the way I want to because it was me having a second job. So I was working 9 hours Saturday through Thursday and 13 hours on Friday.
Oh, wow. Jesus.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Are you out hourly or salary?
Salary now. But
back then it was hourly.
Oh no, I've always been salary, but just due to my rent being, I just need an extra $200, and I didn't want to keep asking like family and stuff to for like extra 200. So I'm like, let me just get a second job for real fast.
No,
so that lasted months, and then after I left the second job, I started traveling almost nonstop this year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I see.
Yeah, so like just having just the mental capacity to like, oh, let me work out for like 30 minutes wasn't even a thing.
Wasn't a thing that even crossed your mind.
Yeah, no. 2023.
Could you imagine coming back in like a little dad bod, little pouch? It would be crazy. We're Julian that I remember.
I'm working off immediately. Give me another 3 weeks.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, but other than that, that's like the main thing. I can't think of anything else that's like super significant. I know I'm about to help my sister move to our new place, but yeah, no, that's about it.
Talking about moving, I work for a moving company, funny enough. And yesterday, that's the reason why I couldn't join you, because the moving can be like, I don't mind it, but it's just like, bro, what are we doing?
It's a lot. I can see that.
Yeah, definitely. The iceberg isn't deep enough, bro. I read the stuff I've seen, bro. It's crazy.
That's crazy. That's actually really funny. No, I believe it. And I bet that's really straining too.
Oh yeah. Oh, 100%, bro. I know a guy actually. He's younger than us. He's been doing it for 3 years. And he did it. I think he started when he was 22. So he was probably 19 or something. And like he had to stop. Like he's stopping. Well, not only because he's stopping because he's leaving, but he's stopping because like his knees couldn't take it anymore. I'm just like, he's 22 years old. And like I just imagine
a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot. Very straining on the body. And he's very he's crazy enough to like go do a move job and then go to the gym afterwards.
No. See, he wanted.
I know, right? I was just like, the dude's a little nut, bro. But like he's super cool, though. But yeah.
Let's get into why we started this. At least, what is the question of the day?
The question of the day is tipping culture and just tips in general. And I guess we're gonna go delve into the nitty gritties about tips, which I think it's a pretty interesting topic that's not talked about often, especially the fact that it's only done in certain parts of the world. I think only just in America, right? Mainly America's the only. Why does America always have to be so different compared to all the other countries?
I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out why we haven't converted to the metric system.
I know, right? We still drive on the wrong side of the road.
Yeah, that one I don't understand.
I think that would be a pretty cool topic of like all the discrepancies America have versus compared to all other countries of the world. That could be some content. That could be some content right there. Make a series out of that. Yeah, let's get into it.
So what are your thoughts on tipping? What are your general thoughts on tipping?
Tipping, I don't know. It's kind of weird now. Because like back in the day, it used to be just like an act of, I want to say it wasn't required, but it was more like just an act of kindness. Yeah. But like now it seems like these people are just like, so no tip. You're not going to tip me?
Like they're expecting, it's like, we're
Yeah,
fine.
like, or
What's the
like the
extra?
other, or like other things I've seen is like you would get like a receipt and like a tip is already on there.
The gratuity.
Yeah, gratuity is like, why just not put it in my bill? Like, why do you have to show me like I'm tipping? You know? So I've noticed that like that shift. And then like even in places like fast food restaurants, like, pickup. Like I do a lot of pickup because me personally, like I don't really I don't do delivery. Even though I've been a delivery driver, like I prefer just to pick up my own food because I don't want to tip, right? And then I go on and I go into the store, right, to go pick up my food, and I'm paying, and I see the tip thing. I'm just like, why? Like that's the whole point of me coming out and getting my food.
I've never seen it where I was like went to Walmart and I like scanned my own groceries and everything, and they asked for
Right.
me to tip there. That's crazy. That's
Yeah.
insane.
I think if you go to Kyoto, like Sushi and Grill, like the hibachi place, I think they do
Okay.
that. Yeah, they do that. Interesting.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's very weird. I'm just like,
Yeah.
do you expect me just to act like I'm so out of it that I tip and then leave with my food? I just don't understand.
Yeah, no, I get that because for me, I I'm okay with tipping. And granted, I had to get into being more okay with tipping, but
Oh,
the
really?
overall, I'm okay with it. Before I wouldn't tip a soul like at all. at, at I'm saying this at the time when I did not have income of
Oh,
or
okay.
any kind. I was kind
Okay.
of young, so there's that is the reason why I wouldn't tip is like I literally just didn't have it, nor I
Didn't
did
have
not
one.
think it into my pocket. But tipping overall, I think it's okay, but I do think it's getting like out of hand, like how you were
Yeah,
saying. Like,
exactly. I think it's getting a hand.
yeah, because like
I think
I know,
I think there's some like entitlement, I guess. If
yeah,
I had to put a
because,
name to it.
yeah, because I remember something was like I would go to like a bowling alley or something, right? I
Mhm.
just paid to rent my shoes, and they flipped the sign around like, "You want to leave a tip? You have done nothing for me. You literally gave
Exactly.
me."
That's what I'm saying. Like, why? Like, I'm doing all the work. Why do I like? What's the point?
Yeah, and my friends, I was just talking to a friend about this the other day, actually, and he said if we are both standing, there's no reason for a tip. And I'm like,
Exactly.
it's a lot of sense, actually. But do you have any random tip stories you like to share?
Random tip stories. Well, I mean, man, if only I was a delivery driver. I remember back in the day, I used to work for Jimmy John's. That was my I guess like I said, my first job in Orlando. I did
Yeah.
have like a sign job, but it didn't last that long. But that
Wait,
was
sign
like,
up like the one that where you flip fines and like on the commercials
yeah,
where
it wasn't even like that. It was actually so basic. Like they actually gave me like a chair. Like they were super cool. So they gave me like a chair and I just sat and just like held the sign the whole time.
ah, okay.
The only time it got kind of annoying was if it was drizzling because I had to stand out in the drizzle.
Okay. You had to be out there even in the rain?
Yeah, like it wasn't like downpouring. Like if it was
Oh, okay, okay.
thunderstorming, like no. They'll put me to like go come back inside.
Okay, I was about to say, I'm like, that doesn't seem right. Like there
Yeah,
should be
yeah.
something wrong with that.
No. But like they paid weekly and it was cool, but like again, it didn't last that long. So I got like a second job and that was Jimmy John's, right? And I think, you know, in terms of tipping, let me see. I know there was one guy in there who was very, how to put it, like if someone didn't tip him, he would ask, so you're not gonna, you're not gonna put a tip down. And like I always felt like to me, like that's so like assertive. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I would never say something like that.
Yeah, I feel like you really can't act like because like you said, it was supposed to be a generosity thing. So
Exactly, right?
ask
So I always
so you're
felt
gonna put huh?
I know, right? So I always felt that was kind of weird, but like then again, I could see why. Because funny enough, in my moving job, we do tips as well, right? And I remember one time, so how the process goes is that the people on site, like us, the workers, we will,
Yeah.
present the receipt to them, but the payment would go back to the office, right, to the dispatchers that dispatch us.
Okay.
And I remember one person, we did a job, and we presented the receipt, and they were calling, and they called, and then the office called them to pay for payment. And I'll never forget, like, the guy, I don't know if he worded it a certain way or how he said it, but like he said, I want to give them $100 tip. Like he said it in a way like as if he already gave the tip, right? In cash.
Oh, something like I gave them $100 tip.
Exactly. But exactly, right? I gave $100 tip. The thing is that we didn't get a tip. Like we didn't get a cash tip. And now it happens sometimes where they will say, oh yeah, I paid them on card, and then pay because they want to feel bad, right? They want to feel bad like by not saying no tip. So they'll lie instead and say like, oh, I tipped them cash. It'll be good. And then and then the office will call us after they're done giving the receipt to give us the go ahead to leave and come back to the shop. Right. And when they're giving the green light, they will tell us, oh yeah, he tipped, this much in card.
Interesting.
You get what I'm saying, right?
No, I get that.
Yeah. So you get that? So we got the call, and then we asked him, what was the tip? And he's like, wait a minute. Like he said he tipped you in cash, right?
Oh,
and so, but we're sitting here like we didn't we're looking around like, did anybody get any cash? And we was like, no, we didn't get any cash. And then I remember our captain or the lead, the person that was handling the job, he went, like, he got out of the truck, went back into the house, knocked on the door, went back into the house, and asked the guy, like, so you said, you tipped us in cash. And, like, the guy, it was a misunderstanding. He said, I want to tip them on the card $100 each. So everybody was going to get $100 on the card.
Oh, wait. Everyone was going to get $100, basically.
Yeah, there was four. There was four of us, so I guess like a $400 tip. So like it can be like a double-edged sword, because it's like if he didn't assert himself, we would have never gotten like
an extra
$100 each. So like it can be weird. Like it can be like times where it's like like I guess just like a time and a place for it. You know what I'm saying? Like.
For sure, because I know I feel like if you said you were going to give a tip and it just didn't go through, like, I feel like that's a good time to ask. That is definitely
exactly. Yeah.
You said you're going to do no one has the money.
Like what's going on type deal.
Yeah.
But I think he did it just off of his inclination. Right? Like he didn't, like, the guy never told us he was going to tip. So like he just kind of just off of a hunch just knew, like, okay, like something's up here. So like,
okay,
like it can be like you can be on like a razor's edge in terms of like figuring, because like you can like for that example, it was a good thing, but like other times I could imagine it just going just completely left, way out of there.
Yeah. Because I was definitely. Oh,
go ahead.
Continue.
I was gonna go like more of like the controversial route and like ask like what race of people don't tip who doesn't tip the most? Like, which one would you think?
All right, I don't know which race. I really, like you said, I feel like that's just where you grew up, like where what the world you came through. Because
that's
again,
that's true.
If you aren't told to tip.
That's
why
true,
would you tip?
Yeah. Well, why would you tip? Yeah. I know. I've been in situations like that. I've been where like the person's like foreign, so they don't know what tipping is. But then I just don't usually I don't bother with that. I'm just like, whatever.
And that's still me to this day. Even though I've gotten better with tipping, sometimes I am definitely looking and like, do I tip this? Do I not tip this? Like I am very confused with some jobs. I'm like,
which jobs actually?
Um, what's one example that I can think of?
Yeah.
Prime example, right? Well, I there are two on my mind, and I'll tell you my tipping story later. But
Mhm.
so when I was going on a cruise,
Mhm.
and the bus person from where you like drop off your car to like the pickup area for the boat,
Mhm.
I'm like, do you tip them? Is it
Mm,
already covered? Because I think in some places it's already covered, like you've already paid for a tip. So
okay.
why are you double tipping? That's
Right.
one thing. One thing is this is not my situation. I'm just thinking of things that I see in TV. You know, like
Mhm.
in like shows and everything, they would have like
Right.
the bellhop bring up your bag and everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, do I tip you? Do how like stuff like that,
Really?
like little things like that is like things that I
Mhm.
know like I could do myself. Like this um I definitely appreciate it, but I'm like, do I tip you? And if I do tip you, what is the standard rule for tipping you?
Got you. I
Yeah,
think it's
so there's like
well, I don't know actually. I think there is some rules about like the percentages about how much versus. But like, I think when it comes to like things like that, like things I could do on my own, and if they do it for me, I think that warrants a tip of some sort. Because even though I could have done it on my own, like just the fact that you took, I guess, time out of your day. But then again, it's like it's their job, so that is
see, and that's where the confusion comes in. That is where the confusion comes in. I'm
that's
like,
true.
do I not? Am I gonna see you again? The other thing
Tip
is,
or
do
not
I
to
even
tip
have
is the
cat?
question, huh?
That's going to be the name of this episode. Thank you very much. That is going to be the name of this episode. But
I'm
that's also
done.
the thing of, do I even have cash on me to toolkit?
That that is true. But then again, I think things have advanced now. I think people with card readers these days, like the little square thing, like they sit there and like they like plug in their phone and then you scan it. It's kind of
Yeah,
crazy now.
but I would only use that if it like if I saw someone walk out, was like, oh, you can like tap your card to give me a tip. I would feel a type of way about that because that's for like
Really?
a, I feel like that's for establishments. Like if you like ordered something,
Mhm.
because usually they will come with a fee to even
Right.
make the purchase. So that's for the example of the bellhop. Bring out a
Mhm.
square card. It's like, hey, you can tip me with this $5 minimum. I'm like, wait a
Hey man, some people are just like, yo, like I gotta get it how I can. Like, no, you don't got cash. I got card readers.
which
What's
is
up now?
insane to me. Like I get this, which goes back to this is a generosity thing, and then it also goes to
That's
you
true.
don't know what's in my bank account.
Yes, yeah.
What if I wanted to tip you, but I only got $1 to my name? No, I only have $3 in my bank account. I gave you $1.
I've seen that before, and then I think the guy I used to work with at Jimmy John's, who was like super assertive, like he would ask and like if you can't afford the tip, like then why ask for the service? Like why ask for the delivery service if you know you can't cover that aspect? And I was just like, man, like this dude he's something.
But
He's going
again,
places.
and uh, again, I feel like it's a whole generosity thing. Like
Yeah, I always thought it
uh,
was generosity.
yeah, like you like yes, it's nice to tip,
Mm-hmm.
but if you just can't, but you still need to get whatever, I
Yeah,
would still say still get whatever.
whatever. Although I do know, so you know how like you certain jobs are covered by like I forgot what it's called. Like there's like workforce labor laws or like labor laws
Yeah.
essentially. Like everyone like they have to pay you a certain minimum wage or like all that good stuff. Supposedly waitress jobs or like delivery like jobs that like usually the jobs that have tips involved in them, people who work in those fields typically get paid a lot lower because they're not covered by
Mhm.
those labor laws. So I can kind of see
Yeah.
it
No, I've
there
definitely.
because it's like so when I was working at Jimmy John's I had two pay rates. So while when I was in shop or like in the store I would get paid minimum, right? But when I got on delivery, they would cut my pay rate down to like $5.25 an hour, like something absurdly small, because they think I get a tip to cover that cost.
Which is like, I don't support this logic, but I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, it's like a great area.
But as like the customer, I feel like you shouldn't be taking the responsibility of the employer.
Exactly. That's the biggest argument I've heard about that. Yeah, like that should be your employer. That shouldn't be my job to do your employer's job.
Exactly, because I'm thinking like it's your job as the employer to make sure that your workers are able to do the work and come in, and whatever. You shouldn't push the responsibility to me off of something that's supposed to be off of generosity.
Generosity, yeah. And I think the reason, I don't know why, but I think America always have this weird gray area problem where it's like, okay, like, you know, because it's like, this is so open-ended, right? Like there's no, like, again, there's argument on both sides, but there's no like objective, like this is how it should be. Because like, then is like, because it, as like a person who works underneath that, you have to be like, your customer service has to be,
A1.
A1, right? It incentivizes, because if imagine I was getting paid the same rate as I was getting paid in the shop, I'll be less incentivized to put my best forward, right? Because I'm like, I don't care, like I'm getting paid the same rate I'm getting paid inside the store. So it's just, I don't know.
It's definitely strange. But if I remember here, if the story that I have, I think there's some laws trying to go through the higher ups to like make that not global, but at least a U.S. change, like throughout from like statewide. I think it's supposed to. There's something in the works with that, because this kind of leads me. There's another way of tipping about this in a second, but this leads me into my story, because when I was working the second job and everything, I was basically working the cashier for a place that was close to Dave and Buster's.
Yeah,
right?
I remember it was like round. It was, I forgot what was it called?
I call it Spear 3 just in case they ever find it. Yeah, but so here I am at the cash register, and I'm dealing with the customer and everything. It was a regular, maybe Friday, maybe Saturday, I don't even remember. And she's asking me, and she pays for her food and everything, and we have the tip jar right next to the cash register, right? And she's down. She doesn't have the exact change. She's missing, let's say she's missing 50 cents, right?
Okay.
So she goes into our tip jar and takes out the 50 cents from our tip jar and gives it to me to pay for it. Hold on. I understand that sounds wildly wicked. And it is.
That sounds crazy.
Yeah, mind you, I'm looking at her.
Oh, so you see her.
I'm the cashier. I'm the one who took her order. And I see this, and I don't even flinch or anything. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, wow, you're really just going to take.
You just accepted it. You were like, okay, I guess.
Because what am I supposed to do? I can't just snap at her or anything while I'm and everything. But I'm glad I didn't, because in my mind, I'm like, I guess that is generosity money. So
yeah, that's generosity.
I see. Loose technicality.
I see what you mean.
It should be allowed. Again, not something I would support whatsoever, but on a technicality,
I've seen that.
Exactly.
I think in certain coffee shops where they call it paying it forward, where they'll pay a little bit of extra money so that the last person gets it, the next person gets it for less.
That's why I'm like, exactly. Then but I'm like, I'm glad I'm the only one who saw this, because I had other coworkers who threw a fit about this.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But no, I did not. Oh yeah, no. But like I said, so she gives me the 50 cents from the tip jar and everything. I give her, ring her up and everything, and then she puts $3.
Oh, really? As a tip?
Yeah, yes, yeah. Like just out, the generosity of me just
Rhapsody.
not,
Not
you know,
not snapping out or smiting her from the
yeah,
heavens.
yeah. But again, it was only like 50 cents. But I'm like, but again, that I'm like, wow, you're really putting your hand in the tip jar.
John, I know, right?
And yeah, yeah. So there's
That is crazy. Actually, it's so weird.
yeah. Mm-mm. And the other thing about that I wanted to bring up is the fact that that same company later on said that we couldn't make tips anymore
Really?
because, which is really strange,
Mm-hmm.
because we were working right next to the bar and everything. So the bar can make tips, but all the other sides couldn't. But and we all came together at the end of the day. Everyone would get their so if you like work, we would collectively put all the tips together, and
And then
then
you divide it.
yeah.
Oh,
But
I don't like that, low key. That's kind of messed up because like what happens if like one person's acting really bad and the other person's acting good and then like you gotta
see, I'm okay. See, my rule for that was if it ended up in the tip jar, it gets split among everyone. But if someone directly hands you the money,
okay. You just
how I get it.
you look around, just pocket it.
Yeah, because there's definitely been some situations where people have just personally said, "This is for you, not for anyone else."
Exactly.
Again, like I said, I had working with some people who kind of snapped on some people. Sometimes it was granted, sometimes it was more. But that's the. But that was my RO. It was like if it ended up in the tip jar, and all three of the tip jars, we come together, and we all, and there was only like 3 tip jars. There was probably going to be about at most like 4 people working. So, but the thing is, the person who was working the bar didn't like that because they wanted to keep all the bars because no one could work behind the bar except them. But thinking is like, how else are we supposed to make tips? Like, you're a bar, people generally will tip you more than they read the cashier or something. So they were, from what I was hearing, is that the people who was working the bar wanted to keep more of the tip or just not split it off whatsoever. And so because there was so much in-house fighting, they just said no one can do tips, like no one. And
they just cut it off completely.
Yeah, but I'm like, no. So I was still taking my, individual tips and everything someone handed out to me. And then after it took a little bit, but we will still put like tip jar on one of the things, and we will only use that. Like we would still have like it took about maybe a month and a half before they kind of cut it off, and I'm very curious if they put it back. But
you should go there just to see, just to confirm.
Yeah, because me personally, no, continue, go.
Oh no, go ahead.
Oh no, I was like, yeah, because I'm like, damn, they're working fast food. So I'm like, for you to take away one of the incentives of me wanting to be here in these not so great conditions wasn't the smartest idea to begin with.
That's true though. That's crazy, man. Like imagine having a college degree and you have to work a side job like that. How was the experience? Like low key, like was it? I guess it wasn't the best, obviously. You seemed like you didn't like it.
It wasn't so bad. The experience wasn't actually so bad because I was working 9+ hours every day, but Friday and Sunday, they weren't terrible because they were slow days, and plus school was kind of in session. So Saturdays wasn't like so bad. It's when school got out of session, that's when things started to really pick up. But even then, they were only like,
okay, I see.
Yeah.
Also, bro, Friday and Saturdays are your slow days? I was like, that sounds, wait, what's going on in that place?
Friday, Sunday. Saturday was like always packed. But again, it would only be packed. Yeah, but it would only be like hectic for about maybe 2 hours. Around like 6 to like 8.
Got you. A lot of kids, right? A lot of kids running about.
Yeah, but other than that, like I said, I was usually working in the back anyway, so I didn't have to really like deal with
you have to interact. Okay.
Yeah. I was the personal dishwasher at that point. They was like, you know what, just we will take care of the people up front. You start doing the dishes so we can all get out of here a lot faster. I'm like, all right, bet. And that's why I'm like, and that's why I like sharing the tip and everything, because I'm in the back. There would be no way for anyone
for you to access.
Yeah, but yet I'm still helping out everyone. I was helping out the whole building at that point because I was taking everyone's dishes and washing them, getting them washed. So that's why I'm like, I would rather share tips.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah. But do you have any? There was a thought in my mind that I can't remember. It had something to do with strippers and tipping, but the thought is not there right now.
I was thinking about tipping. I was like there's no real ceiling to tipping. You know what I'm saying? I think that can also be in incentives, because it's like, imagine, like I remember you mentioned earlier, like the employer should be the one doing doing that part of like carrying that burden per se. But like, I'm just saying, that's the reason why it's such a gray area, is because it's like certain jobs, like the one you just mentioned, like the incentive wouldn't be there. Like, imagine doing that for $15 an hour, and you couldn't get tipped because it's like there's no tips involved. Like, who would do that for $15 an hour? Like, seriously. Or like even like those Hooters or like those other places, I think. Like, I can imagine like they rack up bank over it. Like, they're making probably like, in terms of an hourly wage, probably like 30, maybe even $35 an hour.
Yeah,
depending on the time of day as well. But it's just like, that's crazy to think about. Like, there's certain people out there who are making like almost as much as like an engineer. I know, right?
Just decent money off of it.
Yeah.
But
so like, I guess that could also be another argument there. I just thought about that when you mentioned it.
I will say tipping, I feel like, benefits women more than men.
Yeah, and I think most waitress or waiter jobs, like service jobs, are heavily dominated by women for the most part. Yeah, because I think people are more willing to tip them, especially if they're like pretty or something. They think that giving them more money was gonna make, I don't know. I'm not too.
I don't know the science behind it, but I definitely do.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know the logistics, but I just know they definitely make a lot more money.
But I definitely, with the whole sharing tips thing, I definitely use that to my advantage. We all knew it. It's like, all right, you're more likely going to get this tip than me. Do your thing.
I don't. That's true.
But I'm thinking of two questions right now. The first question is, do you think tipping is a good idea to impress someone? And then the second idea, how much do you think there's too big of a tip? Like, what is your max on tip?
So, the first question, I generally no. Like, that's just weird. Like, because it's like, we've only meet for like a brief moment, and you're only doing your job, which is just to serve me for whatever I'm doing, which is eating out, for example. So like, I think it's more of like an illusion, I guess the fantasy of it's like shooting your shot, but it's like, no, that's just not, unless the person was feeling you, I guess. Like, I think there's very like niche circumstances, if you get what I'm saying. Like let's say if like you were at a spot, let's say you were at a spot and like the waitress or waiter was feeling you, I guess, then, maybe as a time to shoot your shot, you would give them a pretty hefty tip. But like, no, I don't. I just can't see it. Like, you can't buy your way into that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that just seems weird.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with you because. Oh, I was saying I definitely agree with you with not being able to try to use a tip to impress someone, because like you just said, it's like you were buying someone, or like you like, oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, it's not, the words I'm looking for is kind of slimy, but that's not like the correct definition I'm looking for. But it's just like, it's like, I know you think you can just impress me with your money. It's like, all right,
exactly.
well, you have money, But me personally, I've said this before. Like I don't care for money like that. Yes, I need it to survive and everything, but I don't want to impress people with the money that I have.
Exactly.
Like, that's
yeah, and it just feels like now, and even if like let's say you do that, right? Like, okay, and let's say she goes along with it, but it's not like she's not really like it will never be because of you. It will be because you led with her. You led her with the money. It would just be for the money, right? So like, no, I generally don't think it would be good overall. Like, very small. So like maybe if like let's say you're going to that spot all the time, like you were a regular, and like there's that one person that sees you all the time, and you know. But then again, it's like you're already kind of building a foundation just by being there all the time, because you obviously you're going to do small talk, you're going to figure things out about each other. So even if you do drop the hefty tip, it's it led up to that. But
yeah,
like, off rip. No.
Just to impress someone off the tip, no. Like
no flight zone, no.
But this is very circumstance. But if you're trying to shoot your shot with the server of any kind, and you want to use the tip as a gateway to start that conversation,
okay, I can see that.
Shoot your shot. Like if that's your gateway, just to have more of a conversation, sure.
Yeah, if that's your game, I guess go ahead.
Yeah. Mind you, when I'm thinking about this, I'm not dropping like $100 on like bare minimum work or something. But it's just like now, like like your regular tip just to have a conversation. But again, if you do it, just be aware the person is working. Like you're playing a very dangerous game right there. But if that's how you want to go, that's how you want to go. I don't see any problem with that. But
your second question, I remember, was the limit. If there's any upper, again, I don't think there's an upper ceiling, to be honest. Like if you want to tip $1 million, it's your money, so it's up to you.
That is true. Yeah, for me, I say, hey, if I give you this money, I don't care what you do with it. Like that is not my business.
That is not my business
to determine what you do with some money. It's just I felt being generous. Here you go. But I know for me. My usual tipping is roughly $2. That's just like universal, no matter what it is. It's usually $2 because more than likely, most of the things that I get, $2 covers at least 10% or close to 10%. So whatever I tip.
Okay.
So I'm like, getting a haircut, $2. For me specifically, to get a tip from me from a haircut, certain things has to happen. Like you have to talk to me, you have to tell me like, oh, you can do this, or like I can't just be sitting. Like you have to at least try to talk to me.
Just sit
but that's just because I'm like, yeah, because if you were trying to help, because I know I have like dry patches all over my head and everything. So if you he's like, hey, do this, do that, you can help. I appreciate it. So I'm like, all right, cool. For just you talking to me and you trying to help me do something with it, I'm like, all right, cool. Here's a $2 tip. Uber, yeah, because I usually have rules for like when I tip. At least like for certain things. Uber drivers, if they like have a conversation with me, I will tip them. Then, what other places do I have? Like, I think those are like the two off the top of my head. I'm like, all right, there's like. This is the gateway to get to my tip. It's not like just an automatic thing for me.
Okay. Me generally, I'm a bit generous then compared to you, because well, for Uber, it's funny because it depends on the payment. Like let's say it's like 26 and some change, right? Like I'll probably give them like $2 or $3, or I'll round it to the nearest dollar. So that way, so like if it's like $20, like $20.50, I'll probably do like $2.50, like $2.50. Yeah, just to make it a round number. Barbers, so with barbers, I usually tip them. I tip them pretty well, especially if I don't know. I go to the same barber a lot. So like, to incentivize them, to keep things kosher, I guess, I'll give them a pretty nice tip, especially if they did a good job to incentivize, because the last thing I want them to do is like give me like a slope hairline. And then, you know what I'm saying? Like there's certain things like the hair aspect or certain things is like, I kind of want to tip. I'm incentivized to tip them good if I want a decent haircut.
That is true. But I will also say I do tip my barber. Usually, if I go to the same person over and over, I usually do tip him. And especially if I get cash, I'm like, oh, do you have like, let's just say I had a 20. It's like, cut was, let's say it's some like 15 for whatever reason. Let's say my cut was 15 for whatever reason. And I'm like, oh, you're getting back a 5? It's like, hey, you have 2 1s, like you can keep 3, give me 2. But it's like if they just don't have the change, then I'm like, all right, I'll just
I do that same thing. I usually, for me, generally, I just give them a 5. I think $5. Well, not just for the barber, but just in general, $5 because it's like a $5 bill. So it exists, and I think that's a pretty hefty tip overall.
It's definitely. I say 2 only because I just know that's just simple math. It's like restaurants and everything. I don't want to do like the 15% calculation. I don't like that's $2. Like that's a simple tip that I won't think about ever again. But I know someone's gonna hear this like, wow, I am so cheap. I'm like, no, it's just like I said, you just don't know what's in my bank account. You don't know what's in my bank account.
Exactly. You don't know what's in my bank account. And I'm just like again, it's like you can only like as a customer, I only want to give so much. Like I'm already here paying for my meal. Like, please, like why are you harassing me?
Yeah, but I definitely feel some type of way tipping with restaurants when gratuities already included. Like it's already there with the total.
Now, exactly. If it's already there, I don't tip at all. I'll just do whatever. Like
because I'm like, you just charged me $18 because I came in with a party of 6. 18% because I came with a party of 6, and then you asked me for a tip again.
Like.
So something's not adding up here. And
something's not adding up.
It's adding up in your pocket for sure, but for my pocket, something's not making sense.
I don't know. Maybe someone might double tip. I'm not sure. I don't get the whole mind tricks with that one. I could clearly see it.
Yeah, no, that one's definitely a new investment of like, wait, gratuities already included. So again, that just depends on like how good the server was and everything. Because I feel like also when it's like included like that, the server doesn't always see their full amount of whatever. So it's definitely a case by case.
Yeah,
it's definitely case by case of like how well the server was. Because the last time I tipped, that I can think of, I actually know the last 2 times. Went to this Korean barbecue. And I don't know how to use like anything in there. Like there's the stove in the kitchen. Like I'm very confused. I'm out my element. I don't know anything about how to do anything. The server's like, oh, this is how you do things. Like they were even though they were probably like told how to do it. It was like, you teach them. Yeah, I'm outside my element. I don't know what's going on. And so she's teaching me like, oh yeah, you do this. This is your chopstick. Blah blah blah. This is. I'm like, oh, I appreciate like just the little things like that. So gave that person a tip. And then the other story and then the other story, coming back from that same trip, taking the Uber here, and we were talking everything, like just a great conversation, like start to finish. It was like a 15-minute ride, and we just kept on talking all the time. And that's a time where I tip more than I usually like. I tip more than the $2 that I.
Yeah, if you're really vibing with that person, I can see that's definitely.
Yeah, and the reason why I tip more than usual is because I also saw the Uber driver give a homeless person some cash that they had in the car, and I'm like, I've never seen that in it while I'm in the vehicle.
Yeah, right.
So I'm like, all right, cool. I can work with this. So I gave them a bigger tip than usual.
Okay, I see you. That's what's up.
Yeah, but that's about the hour that I have that I asked for you. Is there anything else you have on your mind with this tipping and everything?
Not really. I mean, I think we covered a lot with tipping culture and its weird ways, and
Oh
I
yeah,
guess
oh yeah, for
we'll
sure.
see. I'm how to put it. I want to see what the future, what it leads to with all this tipping stuff, and especially now it's like electronic and whatnot.
Electronics is going to get everyone. The electronics are
Yeah,
going to get everyone.
start tipping like
Uh,
AI robots or something. Could you imagine an AI robot
oh
acting for
my God. We'll be living in Futurama. I don't tell me. We living in Futurama. And we
yeah,
have
like
to start tipping robots just to exist.
it just exists to be like basic functions on our computer. Could you imagine like, and if you don't tip, like it sends like ransomware, ransomware to your computer. It holds your computer
First thing you have
hostage.
to tip your calculator, your phone. It's like, all right, you want me to work properly? Give me that extra 50
All
cents.
right, yeah, I need an extra 50 cents, sir.
I would be so mad. But
That would be very dystopian, but
I
kind
would
of
have to
cool.
fight Elon Musk. I would have to fight Elon Musk. I don't even think he'd have anything to do with it. But I feel like he would have something to do with it. But since that is since that is the hour that I've asked for you, thank you so much for being here.
Of course.
Sad in this hours. The floor is yours. If you want to share anything, your socials,
Uh,
anything, the floor is
I
yours to
don't.
say whatever.
I don't even have social media right now. So I mean, shout out to my friend, shout out to my boy Julian. It's been a pleasure always. I'm willing to do any more podcasts or with you. Just know I was here before it blew up. That's all. I'm already the timestamp this right now, bro.
That's actually so funny. Nah, but I do definitely do appreciate you, being
Mm.
here. You're always welcome back if you think of a question. If you
Oh
like,
yeah,
if you
definitely.
you're in the Discord, so if you look at any of these the
Hmm.
list of questions, like, hey, I want to do this, let me get me back on. And it's done.
Bet.
Yeah, no, sure. But before you go and everything, there's like three things that I have to do. I'm so doing this by myself. I'm like, I have to remember so much again.
I can
Luckily,
imagine.
I put everything on my phone. So if you see me looking to the side, that's just me reading things.
Yeah.
So first thing I have to mention is the announcement of what was it? Everyone on YouTube, if you see this on YouTube, you're about 6 months behind of when this is actually going to be released. Thought I should let you know that.
About
Also,
6 months. Oh well, I guess
yeah.
because you have to edit it and everything, so I can imagine you have like a backlog of things that are just
Oh
sitting
yeah.
there.
So basically what that is, all the episodes come out after like 2 weeks. It will be on like Spotify,
Got you.
Apple Podcasts and everything,
Hmm.
and also on the Patreon. But I'm like, oh, I don't want to just put a paywall behind all these videos.
Right.
But I do want something out of this. So I'm like,
Hmm.
for the people who want to listen to it, but for whatever reason can't join the Patreon, I'm like, let me put it on YouTube so you can still get it for free. You just have
Right.
to do like wait. It's kind of like the anime version of things. Like you can
Oh,
get
okay.
premium.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah, so like because I'm like I want people to listen to it, whether you pay me or not.
Hmm.
But I'm like, where's the balance? So I'm like, let me put it
Yeah.
on
Where's the
YouTube and
incentive?
like yeah, but like you're for YouTube, it's you're just about like 6 months behind,
Yeah.
give or
Okay.
take. Yeah, so that's the whole YouTube thing. And that reminds me to say, pay attention to all these episodes because something is coming up that me and Tyler are working on behind the scenes. We haven't even told anyone. Well, we've told the Discord what's coming up, but so people on YouTube and everyone else who's not who's not been a former guest or anything, basically who's not on the Discord, we'll find out in the future what we're planning. But again, I'm just letting you know you should pay attention to these episodes. And then let me just I have to do the thing, right? The thing is just a quote that I do. Well, it really is just a thing you want that me and Tyler like to do. We should switch back and forth. Mine's usually a quote from who knows where. And the quote today is from another friend of mine from high school, middle school. My
Mhm.
friend William. It's something real simple. It's just give without remembering, receive without forgetting.
Okay.
That's
I like that. I
yeah.
like that. I like how it ties into our tipping culture thing, I guess. For the
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I try to make it. I'm like, mind you, I've had this in my phone for like years, but I'm like, oh, I can use this here.
I could use it. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's always going to be like a thing that you more than likely ties into the show. Like, and I'm guarantee you, I can find a way to tie it into the show.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, but with that, and then just the outro is don't forget to ask yourself, ask others, and never stop asking questions.
All right, yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. It's been a pleasure.
Wow, you're still here. Well, if you enjoyed the episode, there are a few different ways to support our podcast. Following us on Twitter, Instagram, or YouTube, or becoming a supporter of our Patreon for $2 or $5 a month, where you'll have access to never before released visual episodes, funny bloopers, polls, or you can pose a question. The links can be found in the description wherever you listen. The simplest way to support us is by leaving a review about how great or bad we are, or telling a friend about our show. Anyways, thanks for listening.